OK，我们继续啊。Now，现在我们 consider the whole journey from A to G. Okay, let's do the vertical. Okay, how does it look? Vertical. 从 A 上去 D，然后它又走下来，对吗？走下来回这边是 G。OK， 看这个 vertical 的 component 啊，上来回来 D。Okay, what are the things that we know? We know Uy initial velocity 是 U sin theta。AY 就是舍啦，OK， 或者你要用9.81，通常我们用9.81啦 for projectile motion。然后 S 呢 ，SY，S 是 displacement in the Y component 啊，所以你从这里开始上去，你又回来原点 ，OK， 原点就很像我讲它的 height 的原点 ，OK， because if you look from the side, right, it's not the same position, but the height is the same. So if I consider vertical, it is the same for me. The SY is 0 because I go up and then I come back down. The time taken will be the total time taken of the journey. Okay, the time taken will be the total time. So that's the T and the T here. Now, if I look from the horizontal, what will I see? From point A, it goes to the right all the way to point G. Where is my midpoint? Over here, somewhere around here. Okay, I only see it moves from left to right. Now, what is the Ux initial velocity in the X component? U cos theta. AX, acceleration in the horizontal component, 0。SX 这个就是我的整个 distance 对吗？这个我可以讲我的 range or the max range。刚刚那个是什么 mid range 去到中间，这个是我的 max range。然后我的还有什么final velocity。OK， 当它去到 G 的时候啊，这个 V 啊，这个 V 是什么 V？Vx。OK，horizontal 我们看不到 Vy 的。OK 啊，so Vx 是等于 Ux， 因为它 velocity 没有变嘛 ，constant velocity。Okay, now, so, oh yeah, also the time, I forgot the time. Time here is the total, same time as the vertical. We only have one time. So you can see the time I don't label X and Y because it's universal. It can be applied anywhere. Okay. The Y and X I just label so that we can easy to differentiate. Okay, you don't actually need to label. If you label this vertical and horizontal, that's already enough. But I like to label down this also. Now, so I can, the bottom line, okay, what we can summarize for this projectile motion. There are a few things that you need to take note, which is first is the Ux. The Ux or the Vx is constant, regardless of the point in the journey, okay? Regardless of where it is positioned in the journey. So acceleration in the horizontal is always to 0. That is the first thing. And second is you need to know time is the same, regardless. Okay, time is the same, can be applied for both, the same value. These two things. Any question? Got a question? Let me know in the chat. Okay, one more thing I want to say about this one. Resultant velocity. 怎样算 resultant velocity？ 你看啊，从 A 去 B，然后 D，然后 E down to F, right? Let's say at F over here, this point. At F, the object is moving along the line of the projectile, right? So the velocity is actually in this direction. Okay, you see I label here. In this direction. It's along the line. It's on the line. Okay, it's on the line. But I have two components, Vy and Vx. So total, I got three component of velocity. 这个我们叫什么？这个我们叫 V。V 意思说它是 resultant V. It is the total V. Vx 只是一个 component 吧嘛 ，Vy 只是一个 component， 这个 V 是它的总共的 V。怎样找这个 V 呢？这个 V 我就用在这一个 point， 在这个 F， 它的 Vx 跟它的 Vy 加起来，我才拿到这个 total V， 它的 resultant V。OK 啊 ，So 意思说 ，Let's say 我放这样子 ，OK， 我拿一点位置啊，这边，哎。OK， 我擦掉这个先。那从这里，我们拿 consider point F 啊，在 point F 的时候，它的 Vx 这样子，然后它的 Vy 是走下去的吗？所以我加 Vy， 这个是我的 Vy。当我加的时候，你的 arrow 鼻子对它的尾巴 ，OK， 鼻子对尾巴。我放这个 Vy 的时候，我不可以放在这边，这个是尾巴对尾巴 ，OK， 所以我们用鼻子对尾巴。我们在画它的 vector diagram，vector diagram。So 鼻子对尾巴 ，and then 从这里到这里，我可以画一条线 ，starting 啊，这里是 starting 对吗？我走右走下来 ，ending 在这边，我也可以走这一个 path。arrow 也是从 starting 指去 ending 啊，小心你的 direction 啊，不是从这边啊，这个是从 ending 走回来 ，not like this. This is wrong. This is correct. It's from the start to the end. 这个是你的 resultant velocity. OK， 就是在这一个the combined component. The combined component. Sometimes the question they will ask you to find the resultant velocity, which is this one. How do you find it? You find what is the Vx at that point, what is the Vy at that point, you add it up like this, and because this is 90-degree perpendicular, you can do the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, Pythagoras theorem, Vx square plus Vy square, square root. Then you get this. So you can find the resultant velocity at any point, A, B, C, D, E, any point, as long as you know the horizontal and the vertical component. Okay. Next, I will show you a few examples. Okay, but most importantly, before we go to the example, you need to understand the concept of the projectile first. Then only when doing the example, you can do the example. Okay, you can do the exercise. Okay, we go to the next one. I will show you a few examples. But before that, let's take a 3-minute break, and then we will come back and continue with the examples. Okay, so you want to go toilet, you go. You want to drink water, you drink. 3 minutes, we come back here. OK，来，我们继续啊。Okay, let's do this example. Example 1. A boy throws a ball with a speed of 40 at an angle of 30. So this 40 is the U. At an angle 30. assuming that the ball is projected from ground, find time taken for the ball to reach greatest height. Okay, so 首先我们先 sketch 我们的 motion 先 so it's like this. Okay, here, u in this direction, and then we have 30. How much is this? 40 ms minus 1. Okay, time taken for the ball to reach greatest height. Okay, 你要看 horizontal 还是 vertical？ 在这边我选 vertical， 为什么？因为 vertical 比较多 information。vertical 我知道什么？我知道 uy 就是 initial vertical component 的 velocity 是40 sin 30。我也知道 a 是多少。OK， a 你要小心，记得吗？之前我们做的 equation of motion， 我讲到那个 sin 啊，加减呢 ，vertical 你的上是加还是减？我们用它一来的那个 motion， 你一丢的时候它是向哪里？你一丢的时候它是向上，对吗？它向上哦，所以它的 vertical 的我会 assign 上是 positive， 下是减。OK 啊，所以你的 acceleration 是永远是下的，因为不管在哪一个 point 呢，你的 acceleration 永远是 the vector the acceleration always pointing towards the center of the earth, so it's always pointing downward, and here they will take a negative value. This is you will need to be careful. Negative 9.81. If you put a positive, then you get a different answer. Okay, ms minus 2. What else? We know at the top 最高点是 vy 是等于0这边 ，That's why 我用我的 vertical component。OK， 这样我就算了。OK，v 等于 u 加 at 0， 啊0，然后等于40 sin 30加减 9.81， 然后 time solve 这个你就拿到 time 等于 OK 40 sin 30 2.04 second. 2.04 second. So this is time to reach where? To reach the greatest height, the midpoint here. Let's call this point D. From here to here is 2.04 second. B 呢 Okay, the horizontal distance traveled by the ball. 在这里的时候，当它 reach 最高的 distance， 它的 horizontal distance 是多少 ？OK, horizontal distance 这样就是摆明我们要用，讲明了我们要用 horizontal horizontal OK， 所以 horizontal 我知道什么 ？ux 40 cos 30 ax 是0嘛，对不对 ？ax 是0，然后 time 呢 ？time 我可以拿我之前的 answer 2.04，它走上去，同时它也是从 A 到 B 啊，所以从 A 到 D 这个 position 啊，它用2.04，所以 T 是2.04 second。用什么 formula？ 我有 U， 我有 A， 我有 T，OK， 我可以用 S equals to UT plus half AT square。horizontal 这个是0，然后我就有 S 等于 UT 等于40 cos 30乘以2.04。And this one we calculate, we get 71 meter. So where is 71? From the point I launched to the mid is 71 meter. C, horizontal distance sorry, the total time of the journey. Okay, total time of the journey is the same. We use vertical. Why we use vertical? Because we got, actually you can use horizontal also because the distance, all that is already known, right? So let's say we were to use vertical, then I know 从整个啊，我 consider 整个啊，就是说 vertical component 它上去，它又跌下来，它的 vertical displacement 是零。OK， vertical displacement 是零，然后接下来的 information 都是一样的，跟这个一样哦。A 是等于减9.81，这个也是这样，所以我们可以用 S 一样，我们用 S 这个等于 UT 加 half AT square 零。Okay, so UT, all right, so 40 sine 30. Time we already know. Okay, the time, this is, we want to find, right, the time, so we write unknown plus half minus 9.8 t square. Solve the equation. Then we'll not down, simplify this, I get 0 equals to 20t minus 4.91 t square. So you should have two answers. So 0 equals to t20 minus 4.91 t factorize， 然后你拿到你的 t 是0，还有你的 t 是4.07 second。为什么你有两个 time 呢？因为当你的 displacement 是0的时候啊，有两个 instant， 第一就是你还没有丢它的时候，第二就是它回来的时候，所以0跟4.07。然后你也可以看到4.07这个时间哦，你用G9上去中间，你用2.04秒，对吗？所以4.07是整个啊，所以它是 twice the time. So here is another 2.04, and the total is 4.07. It means that a projectile motion is symmetry. Okay, they are symmetrical. If they are symmetrical, that means that the distance I can also times 2. If 71 to the midpoint, then I can take another 71 meter from here to here. So D, the maximum range, 71 times 2. You get the answer. Okay. If you want to solve using the equation of motion, no problem. You can assume horizontal. Then I know horizontal as ut plus half at squared. This is 0 as ut. This one I already know. U 40 cos 30. Time, put which one? The one that you calculated in C. This is 4.07. Don't put the wrong time. If you put 2.04, that is the mid-range. Put 4.07. So that is, you get 142. That's how you solve a projectile motion. Okay, we look at example 2. Huh? Okay, this one, example 2. A girl stands at the top of a cliff and throws a stone with a speed of 20 and an angle 10. Hits the sea 3 seconds later. Find the height of the cliff. Okay, let's draw it. Here we have a cliff. So she throws a stone down like this. It hits the sea 3 seconds later, meaning that the whole journey takes 3 seconds, right? This is the point of launch. So I'm going to take this the height. Here. What is the maximum height? This is the maximum height. Okay, and then at the final position is down here. The moment before it hits the sea. Okay, just before it hits the sea. Okay, now I'll draw a person here. Okay, now here, the height of the cliff. So how do we find the height of the cliff? The height of the cliff is here, right? So the height of the cliff is the distance between the level where she throws, where she launched it, and the level where it reaches the sea here. The difference between these two, right? So this one is, how do I calculate it? Now I can use, considering the vertical component. Vertical. Okay, what is my velocity? So we have a velocity 20. This is the resultant, right? So we have to resolve it. Oops. 有按到什么？哎呀，惨了。我按走了那个，我按到 back 了，我的 drawing 没有了。Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Let me quickly redraw this thing. Okay. I accidentally pressed the back button. So my drawing is not safe. All right, so very quickly, yeah. Okay, now like this, right? Okay, then we do vertical. That's for A. Vertical height of the cliff. Oops. Okay, what are the information we can get? U, Y. This one I resolve. So 20 sine 10. Okay, imagine I put the Cartesian plane here. This is the y-axis, right? So it would be parallel to the y-axis. I bring this to the y-axis is 20 sine 10. This is 20 cos 10. And then with our Vy, vertical component, is 20 sine 10. How does it look in the vertical perspective? If I draw the motion for you, it looks like this. I start here. Let's take this point as the O, okay, the point where she launched. I launch up, and then it comes back down, right? It comes back down, all the way down to the sea here. So this is the point of launch. This is the, at the bottom. The height of the cliff would be over here. This is the height of the cliff. This is the vertical component only, okay? So it's like, imagine we are looking from the side only. Now from here, I can get v ay 是什么？加还是减？OK， 你看啊，一来我丢向哪里？一丢的时候它是向上，对吗？所以上面是 positive， 下是减。所以我 assign 我的 sign 上加下减 acceleration， 不管在哪一个 point 都好，它的 acceleration 都是指下去，所以这个是减 9.81 ms square。然后我知道 s 是多少 ，sy， 我 start 从这边啊，我 launch 这边这个是0哦，对吗？上去，然后又下去啊，所以下去这个是 should be a negative s, right? Should be a negative s. But this one is what we want to find, right? So we can just leave it. This is what we want to find. Okay. Then what else? What else do we know? The time taken, right? The time taken is 3 seconds. So I can use 1, 2, 3. I can get it using the s equals to ut plus half at squared. Okay. So u 我们放了30 3 plus negative 9.81 3. Okay, so simplify this, you get a negative value 33.77. Why negative? Because it is now when it hits the C, it is below the reference point already. This is my reference point. So displacement, now it is below my reference point, so you should have a negative displacement. Anything on top is a positive displacement. So that's why your answer have a negative here. Okay, negative 33.77 meter. So I can say that the height of the cliff is, I take away the negative lah, 33.77 meter. I can just write 34 meter approach. Okay, that's for A. For B, the highest distance above cliff reached by the stone. Okay, above cliff, meaning that here is what we want to find, H, highest distance. Okay, same way we can use vertical. Okay, vertical, V square, U square plus 2AS. At the greatest height, we know the V is 0. And then U is U sine 10 square minus 9.81 S. Solve it, okay, just calculation, then you also can get the answer. S is 0.61 meter. This is the maximum height above the cliff, 0.61 meter. Last one, C. Find the velocity just before it reaches the sea. Okay, just before it reaches. Now, when it is almost here, right? What is the velocity? Okay, let me zoom in a bit. You see, this is the sea. It's curving like this, right? 它是 curve 这样啊。所以你的 velocity component 是 along the line like this. It's like sloping. This is your V. 这个是他们要你 find, 要你找的这样子的 V. Find the velocity 啊。So 你要怎样找这个呢？首先我要知道在这里它的 Vx 是多少，然后它的 Vy 是多少，我才可以找这个 resultant velocity. So Vx 多少呢？ Vx 一来我的 Ux 是多少 ？Ux 就是 U 20 cos 10，对吗？因为 acceleration in the horizontal 是0，所以我的 Ux 就是等于我的 Vx， 也就是20 cos 10。This is the first thing. So I already got the Vx. Okay, the final velocity x. 好，现在我要找的就是我的 Vy. vy 怎样找 ？vy 也是一样，我们用 we can use the v equals to u plus at to find it. Okay? V equals to u plus at. This is considering vertical. Now 这个 v 等于 u at， 我可以找 OK， 从 v 等于 u 是多少 ？u 是20 sin 10减9.81，然后3，对吗 ？OK， 从这里啊，从开始这边下来，所以我可以找它的 final velocity。所以你算这个哦，你算这个你会拿到 negative 20 sin 10 ，OK， 3.473减9.81乘3。29.43，算 OK。This one you will get negative 25.96 meter per second。为什么你的 v 会有一个减呢？因为它一来是向上吗 ？OK， 你看，你记得你的 vertical sign 哦，上是加，下是减，所以它一来你 launch 的时候它是向上，所以它是加。接下来它在那个 before 它到那个水的时候，它是往下走，所以它这个是 negative。That's why 你这边有一个 negative 你的 answer。Okay, so negative 25.96. This is what? This is your Vy 减25.96 ms。So 我画我的 vector diagram， 我知道我的 Vx 去右边是多少？20 cos 10，对吗？20 cos 10，然后我的 Vy 我就 join 从它的头 join 下去，这个是25.96。OK， 那个减我拿走它，因为它是减，我已经画了那个 arrow 往下嘛，我可以不用写那个减，我只 show 出来它的 arrow 了，它的 direction 是向下。接下来讲找 ，you use the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, I will create a new code because we have less than a minute. Okay, so here I can draw from here to here. Then I use Pythagoras theorem to find the v.